Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to download the data that you collected through Google Forms, the online survey, into Google Sheets so that you can summarize it into graphs and get data summary from there before you do statistical analysis. So I have created two surveys, right? One survey is for college students, asking them 3 questions, 1 categorical and 2 quantitative, and each subject will answer all 3 questions, and so I have all these responses summarized here. But in order to do more graph that we can control, we actually should download it into a Google Sheets. So before you download, you should log on to Google Sheets. So just do a Google Sheets sign in, have it open, and then you click here. I have downloaded these files, the responses before to look at it and practice doing the graph and stuff. So I have the file open. But if you are doing it the first time, what you do is you click here and you do not do download. You say select response destination. Then you would create a new spreadsheet, which is the Google Sheets. You write your name here, or write the name of the file that you wanted to download. Typically, they would make it the name of the Google form, and then you hit create here at the corner. Okay, you hit create, and it will create a new worksheet for you. For me, I have created already, so I just hit this spreadsheet. So you can always go back to the Google form and look at the spreadsheet. If there's updates, it would update the forms. So this is the file, like an Excel file, similar to Excel file that contain all the responses from college students, my first populations. And then I will go back to Google form, erase this or take this out, and look at the second form. The second form is sent to adults not in college. And again, I get some responses. Again, I want to download it. So if I have download it, I would just click this spreadsheet. For new download, you would say create a new spreadsheet. When they say spreadsheet, it's really Google Sheets. And then you hit create. Remember to hit create at the corner. It's very strange. They should put it here, but they put the create here. So once you do that, you would have a file like what I have. So under Google Sheets, you will see 2 tabs open. One is the tab for the college students' responses, and one is the tab for the adults' responses. Two separate files. If you're collecting data from Instagram or any other form, you want to enter your data in this particular form in Google Sheets. Namely, these are the sample from one population. Each row is from one subject. Go here. And then the 3 question, 1 categorical and 2 quantitatives are here. Okay, so if you are collecting it from Instagram, I don't know what forms of data they provide for you, you will need to manually make it like this. So 2 separate files, one from each populations. If you are doing one Google Forms, like to collect data, so your population data are mixed up, your samples are mixed up from 2 populations like males and females, I can talk to you later on how to separate them into 2 files or 2 spreadsheets, so 2 tabs, 2 worksheets. So basically you want one population samples in one files and another population file data in another file. So don't mix them up. Okay, so this one is for college students, so I'm going to do this first. So what am I trying to do is I'm doing a sample report. You can see is first I want to do a data summary. So for categorical data, I want to do a graphical summary of a bar graph for the 2 samples, one from college students, the other from the non-college students. I also would want to know X1, N1, that means what am I counting? What is the number of success and what is the proportion in the sample? So, and then I would do a histogram for one of the quantitative data. In this case, is the longest duration you stay home. The second question that I asked. And I would also find the mean, median, because these are quantitative data. Thirdly, I want to do a scatter plot. Okay, so these two probably would be done in another video. So in this video, my goal is just to show you how to do the bar graph for the categorical data. So you would open up the first sample. In my case, it's for college students. And then I highlight this. When your cursor is arrow, you can drag and highlight the data, including the header in row number 1. And then you want to insert chart. Insert chart. Wait a little bit. The chart will show up, but it's not what the chart that I want. I want a bar graph because those are categorical data. So you go to chart editor setup, chart type. You would say, I don't want scatter chart. They would just guess what you want, but you want column chart. They call it column chart in Google Sheets. And then so that's what you want, right? You can see that they list all the numbers that you want that shows up in your responses. And the second thing you want to do is customize. You see how there is no vertical axis, and then the title is kind of funny. The title become like the question. So what you do is you would want to make the chart titles and axis titles. The first is chart titles. You want to erase what they have for you. And then you want to say, this is a bar graph, right? Bar graph for how affected you are for college student. So that's the bar graph title. And then I want a horizontal axis. Horizontal axis is how affected you are, right? How affected you are. That's the horizontal axis title. And I like the font size to be a little bigger. Then we also want to do the vertical axis title, which is actually just frequency, right? It tells you how many people choose to say not affected, mildly affected, or whatever. So I change this and I change all of them, and then I'm done. So I close up this. Anytime if I want to go back to edit, I would do edit charts and it will show up. Okay, so the edit chart, this will show up. So I am almost done with what I graph for the categorical for this particular categorical data. So I'm ready to cut and paste this into my report. So I usually just do a screen print. Okay, if you do copy and paste, it's kind of a hassle because it's very hard to arrange the location in the Word document. So you would population 1. Okay, so population 1. So this I'll put it here. Paste it here. It's too big, so I'll just resize it. So I think that's good enough. Now, oh, actually, I don't think I want this. I want to know the numbers that shows up in the bars because I can't tell what it is. So what number it is. So I have to look at the numbers. So I would need to edit series, and I click the data points, data label. Okay, data label, series, customize series data label. And that would be better. That means there's somewhat people that are strongly affected is 8. People that are not much affected is 9. Okay. Okay, so let's cut and paste again. New. Yeah, have the numbers of the frequency shows up in the top of the bar. Copy. Then paste it here. Make it smaller. So, and then I'm going to do the second sample, which is non-college adults. What are their responses? Yeah, so let's do that first, and then we'll get the summary done. So then I will open up another form. Okay, so close this. The other form that I want would be, if I click here, it would go back to Google Form for adults, not in college, right? So this is the other one. I also have 22 responses. So I will click on this and say I want to send my destination to a file. So type the name of the file if you created it the first time. Click create at the corner. For me, I have downloaded before, so I just click this spreadsheet. It will bring me to this file. Again, I want to graph this column of data, so I highlight it. Oh, no. How affected you are. Okay, so because I see some old file that I did, old numbers that I did earlier. Yeah, in case you accidentally change the numbers or change the file, you can go back to Google Forms and create a new one. So you select the number and then you do charts. Wait a little bit, the chart will show up, but that's not what I want. I want a bar graph, right? So then I will need to, remember we need to customize it. I need to customize the title. So for the title, I say bar graph of how affected you are for non-college adults. So the most important thing is to specify the population. And then you also want to do the horizontal axis title. This is not the count. This is the how affected you are by COVID-19. And I want the word to the fonts to be a little bigger, so I do this. And then I need to do the vertical axis title, which is just the frequency, right? And I also want it to be a little bigger. They're very small. So then I'm done. Oh no, I want to make sure that the number shows up at the bars, at the top of the bars. So after I'm done, that's I am. Okay, so this is my chart. I'll make it a little bit smaller so I can cut and paste it. You can change the color of the title. Right now it's like grayish, but I think you figure out how to change it. I don't really like the default color that they put. So copy and paste it to your Word document. Okay, so that would be the second bar graph for the categorical data for the second population. Okay, so we want to summarize X1 and 1. So for me, I want success to be strongly affected. You can choose whatever category you want to count. For me, I just want strongly affected. So in this case, it's N for college students. And how many do I have? I have 9 plus 8 plus 11, so that's 28. P hat is 8 over 28. 8 over 28. So that is 28.6%, 0.286. And then for H2, so I also am looking at strongly affected is 6 out of 22, I believe, because it's 16 plus 6. And then the percentage is 6 over 22, the sample percentage 273.273. So that's how I want to summarize my categorical data.